afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Discovery 12. Please take your seats, and we'll start momentarily. My name is Tom Corr, and I'm President and CEO of the Ontario Centres of Excellence. I'll be your Master of Ceremonies for the next 2 days. It's my great pleasure and honour to welcome you to Discovery 12, Canada's premier innovation showcase. Before I get started with today's proceedings, many of you may not yet be aware that we lost a member of the innovation community over the weekend. Dan Mothersill passed away on Saturday. Dan was a serial entrepreneur and pillar of the angel community. He founded the National Angel Organization Ontario, launched the National Summit, and led dozens of boot camps on how to raise funding. Most recently, he was entrepreneur in residence at Venture Lab. He recently received his Master's of Divinity degree and was planning to be ordained on May 26. We were looking forward to seeing Dan and his wife, Robin Sundstrom, today at the business mentoring event. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Robin and their family and friends. Let's take a moment to reflect. Thank you. We're very proud to have been named Canada's best trade show for the past 2 years. Many people have been working very hard to ensure that this year's Discovery is better than ever. Our goal each year is to find new and better ways to meet the needs of our participants and to bring you something unique to stimulate ideas and discussion. Joining us later today is the Honourable Brad Dogood, Ontario Minister of Economic Development and Innovation, who will speak at both the launch of the mentoring event this afternoon and at the luncheon tomorrow. I also want to welcome our colleagues from the Ontario Network of Excellence who work so effectively on behalf of the province to support entrepreneurs, businesses, and researchers in unleashing the immense potential and exceptional talent across our great province. Now in its 7th year, Discovery is the largest innovation conference of its kind in Canada. It is the annual embodiment of the spirit of innovation and testament to our provincial government's exceptional commitment to an innovation agenda that drives great ideas towards commercialization in all growth sectors. Discovery is a chance for all of us to celebrate the incredible work that has been done in the innovation sphere over the last year. As we all know, the world of innovation is made up of many layers of knowledge and expertise and encompasses many players with distinct roles. Our colleges, universities, and research hospitals producing world-class research and developing the next generation of entrepreneurs. Industry identifying the advances needed to build and open new markets. Highly qualified scientists and commercialization experts, investors and entrepreneurs bringing discoveries to life. Mentors passing on their hard-earned experience. Government supporting the discovery infrastructure and adopting the new products and services that enhance our lives. Companies exploring new market potential. This complex, highly tuned interface of ideas, processes, and sectors represents the essence of innovation. And over the next 2 days, you will see it all being played out on the Discovery floor. We encourage you to take full advantage of what is being offered. If you're looking for investors, there are more than 35 on site. At Discovery's procurement marketplace, connect with 21 procurement specialists from 3 levels of government in areas including health, transportation, corrections, energy, economic development, and federal services. Visit the International Cafe to gain expert advice and expand your markets. Here you can connect with Ontario's International Trade Branch and the Canadian Trade Commissioner's Service of Foreign Affairs. This is a chance to meet close to 18 trade officials representing a network of professionals from countries such as Italy, France, Great Britain, Germany, and the Netherlands, and the USA, including Boston, New York, and San Francisco. If you want a private meeting with a delegate, an investor, a procurement official, or a company, don't forget to make use of our Book a Meeting system. If you're an employer who wants to access a pool of high-quality job seekers or a student looking for the best job opportunities, register at the Career Connect Zone. Connect is making its debut at this year's Discovery. Built on a platform of Fanfare, an OCE-supported company, Connect is OCE's new skill matching service, free to all OCE-supported companies and students, as well as to all Discovery attendees. You will have the chance to visit more than 300 exhibitors, spanning 200,000 square feet of show space. With over 2,000 attendees again this year, Discovery gives each of us a chance to tap into an immense pool of expertise, creativity, and innovation leadership. It has been gratifying to note the number of major companies participating in this year's Discovery. They include Enbridge, IBM, Bombardier, Toyota, GE, AMD, and Bruce Power. Some tend to associate innovation with small startups and fledgling young companies. But forward-looking industries recognize that innovation is synonymous with global competitiveness and continued prosperity. And we are delighted to welcome them all to Discovery. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the generous support of our sponsors. In particular, I want to thank our platinum sponsors, Bruce Power, Gowlings, and Omers. I would also like to thank Enbridge, the sponsor of our Cleantech Zone, Orion, sponsor of the Digital Zone, IBM, sponsor of the Networking Reception, and AMD, sponsor of our Tuesday Luncheon. Most of all, I want to thank everyone here for joining us to celebrate innovation. We are very excited that we may set a world record today. We have set a goal of achieving the world's largest business mentoring event for entrepreneurs and innovators. We will find out today whether we succeed in making it into the Guinness World Records. No previous attempts in this category have been successful in meeting the strict Guinness criteria. And after planning this event, the OCE team can attest to the extreme rigor and detail of the Guinness standards. There is so much taking place at Discovery this year that I won't even attempt to highlight it all. So I encourage you to check your Discovery pocketbook agenda located in the back pocket of your badge holder before heading out onto the show floor. Because Discovery is a zero-waste event, we are offering a mobile site that provides the full Discovery agenda. You can access it by going to the Discovery website or by scanning one of the QR codes displayed across the show floor. We are pleased that Startup Canada will be launching its Ontario tour to support entrepreneurship at Discovery as part of a national tour to enhance Canada's competitiveness. You may encounter co-founder Victoria Lennox and her team on the show floor, where her team will be interviewing people about entrepreneurship in Ontario and Canada. You will also notice a video crew and photographers on the floor who are here to capture the events. We have also taken steps to ensure that we are leveraging social media to the fullest extent at Discovery 12, so that everyone can tap into the full experience of the conference. For the first time, we have engaged the services of Scribble Live, a Toronto company with a content delivery platform that pulls into one place a full range of social media feeds, including text messages, tweets, emails, photos, video links, and documents to deliver real-time content. It's very easy to use. Through one URL, you can access the virtual life of the Discovery Conference. Scribble Live is a Discovery 12 partner, and Michael Demont, the company co-founder and CEO, is one of our mentors today. If you haven't yet, please sign into your Twitter accounts and let your followers know what's going on at Discovery 12 by using the hashtag OCEDiscovery. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Sean Conway. Sean became the chair of the board of directors of OCE in October of 2010. He has been a member of the OCE board since 2004. Mr. Conway joined Ryerson University's Center for Urban Energy as a distinguished research fellow in February of 2012. He is also a public policy advisor with the national law firm Gowling, Lafleur, Henderson, and a public affairs analyst on various television and radio programs. Will you please welcome Sean Conway?
Thank you very much, Tom. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue à Toronto. And on behalf of my colleagues, the directors of the Ontario Centres of Excellence, we are delighted to welcome you to Discovery 12, our 7th edition of this marvelous and fast-growing, fast-paced conference and trade fair. I want also to quickly move through my remarks because we've got some very important business to transact, but let me also take this opportunity to thank in a very special way my colleagues, the volunteer members of the OCE board. We really do appreciate all that they do for this organization, and I want to both welcome and thank them here this afternoon. Thanks also to the great staff at OCE, many of whom were here over the weekend to make sure that all of these arrangements are as good as we know they will be. And Tom, to you and your excellent staff, we offer our thanks and our appreciation. Now, Terry Matthews, I should get it right, Sir Terry Matthews is sitting right in front of me, looking more youthful and more vigorous than ever, and I want to make sure that Terry and the others get up here as quickly as possible. But I would like to take a few moments to review the past year since we were here last. Certainly, I think I've been at all of the Discovery events since our beginnings some years ago, and there's always a great sense of anticipation at this event, no less this year than last year. There's that excitement that attaches to what's new, what's next, the momentum, and I want to again particularly thank all of the entrepreneurs and the innovators, all of the people from the research and from the venture capital communities. Since I should also say on behalf of OCE and the board how much we appreciate the support of government. Obviously, the government of Ontario has been, through tough times, very supportive of this particular mandate. And I want to say, and he's not here, but Minister Duguid will be joining us later, but we certainly, as a board, very much appreciate the support of the Ontario government through some tough times. Also, thanks to the federal government, because OCE, of course, is home to the CSIR for commercialization, and we very much value the partnership with the Government of Canada. A lot has happened since last year, and I'll just touch on some of the highlights. The One Network, Ontario's network of excellence, which was founded over a year ago, has had its first full year of operation, and we certainly, as a member of that network, are seeing some very positive results. At OCE this past year, we have been more actively involved with new initiatives in areas like experiential learning, where we are involving students in the obtaining of real-world experience, an experience that will hopefully turn ideas into market-ready products and jobs. We have also launched a pilot project to advance social innovation in the not-for-profit and social enterprise sectors, and where to deploy leading-edge solutions to the very tough and challenging issues in that sector. Two firsts at Discovery this year are our student competitions related to social innovation and experiential learning. We at OCE are increasingly in the business of providing business and management skills to up-and-coming entrepreneurs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to help these young people and graduates launch and manage startup businesses. Just recently, the province of Ontario committed $15 million to create a 7-university supercomputing infrastructure that will position Southern Ontario at the forefront of research and development in this very critical sector. This commitment includes $7 million through OCE to facilitate the participation of small and medium-sized enterprises. And you'll hear more shortly from our very illustrious colleague, Pat Horgan of IBM, and Pat will be coming up here very shortly. All of these programs are directly related to the need to continue to foster a spirit of innovation and further strengthen the expertise and skills required to build a track record of success. I'd like to just again highlight on this occasion how delighted we are to have even more young student entrepreneurs at Discovery 12, participating, these young people, in competitions, meeting with mentors, honing their resumes and interview skills, or showcasing their own innovations. And that, of course, reminds me that a key part of the OCE mandate is talent, the development talent, and we certainly know that we're not going to have the knowledge economy that we know we need to have if we don't nurture that next generation of bright young people, and I'm very happy to see our numbers in that space are up this year over previous years. A better story about young people in the talent space I cannot imagine than Alex Levy. In 2010, Alex pitched his idea for a location-aware speech aid to an OCE Discovery competition, taking home first place just about 2 years ago. In addition to launching My Voice and being awarded the Martin Walmsley Fellowship last year, Alex won the title of Entrepreneur of the Year from Profit Magazine last year. He has been named one of the Toronto Star's 12 to watch in 2012. He is with us this year at Discovery 12, acting as a mentor and exhibiting his product on the show floor. And to the young students this year, if you haven't met Alex Levy, use this opportunity to meet a really innovative and very successful young student and entrepreneur. At this year's Discovery, we see strong evidence of the continuing success in shifting the province towards a knowledge-based economy. And that includes, of course, a number of companies here today who are expanding and hiring. We know that across Ontario, thousands of high-skilled jobs are going unfilled due to a lack of qualified candidates. The famous, well, I won't tell you what you already know. Clearly, we are experiencing certain adjustments in this transitional economy in which we find ourselves. But there are some very good signs. Job creation is clearly a symptom of innovation. We have helped create employment, and now our colleges and universities continue to play a vital role in this sector, especially in identifying some of the emerging opportunities and the talent to go with those. As part of that, I'm delighted to introduce to you today the aforementioned Pat Horgan, who is the Vice President, Manufacturing, Development and Operations from IBM Canada. Pat has built a diversified career at IBM, holding a wide variety of leadership positions in sales, strategic development, operations, and finance. And as he comes to the podium, I want to say, Pat, how much we appreciate the creative energy, the financial commitment, and the leadership that you have brought to this the supercomputing infrastructure that you'll tell us more about. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks very much, John. Very kindly starting me off here. And we are very, very proud as IBM Canada to attract this international investment to Canada. And it's something that it didn't happen overnight. I wish I could say it happened overnight, but it was a very long journey to get ourselves here because we came on a collaboration journey. This is something that we think, when we hear about the reports from OECD and Conference Board about innovation in Canada and our scorecard, it was something that we launched to try to drive that trajectory the other way and try to pick it up and make sure that we were putting an environment in place that we could all use together. Rather than me try to explain it to you, I'm going to ask the head of innovation for the corporation to explain why he wanted to participate in this venture.
In the highly competitive world we live in today, it is absolutely vital that industry, academia, and the government itself be at the leading edge of R&D. This is a whole new era of computing smart systems. We're starting to see it today because IBM recently had this breakthrough on Watson, which is a system that was incredibly innovative, and it sort of conquered the artificial intelligence barriers that we've been facing. Imagine having systems now that can go another step and self-tune so that you can accelerate yourself by a factor of 10 or 100 and start to tackle incredibly complex problems of big data today that are insurmountable. Modeling the brain, modeling the global climate in one shot. These sort of massive undertakings that were inconceivable 10 years ago are quite conceivable in this new era, but it requires a tremendous amount of investment in research and development. This area of expertise is actually incredibly strong in Canada. There's a lot of very innovative things we could do around emerging topics such as big data. If you think about what's gone on, for instance, the Hospital for Sick Children, we did a project called a Data Baby. What it amounts to is in a premature infant with a very, very poorly developed or underdeveloped immune system. The problem is the first sign of their being ill is their body is being overwhelmed by an infection. By acquiring massive amounts of data over the course of a time that we study children, thousands of data points a second, when we crawl through that deep amount of data, we can actually see the early warning signs of sepsis. And by doing so, we can treat that child before it's obvious to a practitioner that there's a problem. The challenges our future generations face are tremendous. There are challenges of energy availability, there are challenges of food availability, there are challenges of transportation. Look at some of the cities that are locked and gridlocked today, and remember, the number of vehicles may double or quadruple in the next 10 years. The complexities of dealing with society have gone beyond what a human can do themselves. Basically, society is now a deeply engaged system of systems. What we're talking about doing here is improving not just the quality of life, but the efficiency with which we provide it which frees up resources to do other things in society. It's an incredibly virtuous cycle, and to remain competitive in modern society, you have to invest. If you don't make these investments, you will not, in the long term, survive in the global marketplace of today.
So as you can see, this was a global competition that we entered, and because of the strengths of the Canadian economy, we won. And a month ago, on April 10th, we were able to make the announcement along with Minister Goodyear and Minister Duguid. In fact, what happened here is that we had a very collaborative model that has 7 university partners with more to come, but started with 7, just 7. And then OCE, along with Tom Corr and his group, came along very much to join in to help us with the commercialization, as Sean pointed out. This point is not about just pure research for research's sake. This is about starting new industry and growing the Canadian economy. It's a $210 million investment. We're putting in a huge computing infrastructure which should double the size of SciNet and add extensively to a huge cloud out of SharkNet. 145 new research positions that we're adding, and the federal government's in for $20 million, the provincial government in for $15 million. It's a 3-year project, and we only intend that to be the launch point. The 3 years will just get us started so that we can have many more years of success. And as you heard from Dr. Meyerson, the point here is about the tsunami of data that is out there, and it crosses a number of disciplines. The key to this is analyzing that data to make better decisions and better predictions about the future. And so this is going to be something that our academic community will be able to participate in, and also to the Ontario industry, and have a tool here that is second to none. If I put it into one picture, you can see in the middle, we would consider that the data piece. There's a bunch of data in the middle, but if you go to the right-hand side, we call it agile computing, which is going to be 1,000 times faster than the largest supercomputer today. That's the intent of this project, is to actually have a huge push forward with the best global thinkers on high-performance computing running out of here in Canada. And to do that, we'll go counterclockwise. What will be benefiting from that? Health technologies such as the brain, water in terms of the Ontario Water Consortia and the ability to take the Great Lakes, the best or the largest freshwater source in the world, and knowing that 5 years hence will be a precious commodity, to be able to work with that. Cities, and to look at all of those problems with urbanization and solve them from Canada. And then energy, and the ability for us to work from here, a great jurisdiction in Ontario that is very progressive in its energy policy, to be able to use that and leverage it even further for leadership in the world. So the areas of focus, as I mentioned, agile computing, healthcare, intelligent infrastructure. And these things are all very data-driven, and so that's the way that we'll all see the benefit. And I should say on the healthcare front, you saw the data, we called it the Artemis Project, and UOIT, along with Sick Kids, have been working on this for the last couple of years, but we intend to grow that project significantly into other areas, and also look at other things along the lines of diagnostics. And you see the Watson demo outside, but imagine that Watson demo being used instead of for a game show, but for medical diagnostics, as it is already. And it's passed the Columbia Bar exam with a perfect score last year. So you can well imagine what that can do for us in terms of leading and pushing forward in terms of a different approach to healthcare. Just to give you a simple picture, this is one almost I drew, but one of my colleagues did. In the center you have the data again, the data engines and the analytics engines. You see 7 of the universities that have joined in at the outset, and a bubble for the other. And the little bubbles on the outside, the little squares on the outside, are small and medium enterprises that are linked in here to be the growth engines for the future. Now, you still might be saying, okay, why? I'm not still sure I catch on why this is important. And so I've asked, in fact, for this audience, here's a colleague from the University of Western Ontario who is a researcher who independently put this together for us.
The way science has traditionally been done for centuries is you work very hard in a lab or in the field, and you gather a tiny little bit of data, and then you have a lot of time to go back and analyze that small amount of data. The problem with modern science is that the tools we have available for generating data, for gathering data, have exploded exponentially in terms of their productivity. So we now get terabytes of data, sometimes per minute or per day, and it's not feasible for a single human being or even a team of human beings to sit down and go through that by hand. So we need completely new approaches. The tools that IBM is providing us with are exactly what we need to be able to take these colossal data sets and make sense of them in an automated way. What the analytical tools provide for us is a framework for mining what we really care about out of these colossal data sets. One specific area that I work in myself is in neuroscience. We have magnets over at Robarts Research Institute. We generate terabytes of data, images of blood flow in the brain, and we'd like to turn that into some sort of model of how the brain's working. And analyzing that just by looking at individual, it's just not feasible. There's too much. So the resources, the computational resources that we're getting will allow us to automate that analysis to a point where we can hopefully boil down what we see into simple models. These facilities, these resources that we're getting are enablers across almost all of the research disciplines on campus, whether that's science, social science, business, humanities. All of these areas can benefit from big data analytics.
And so, in conclusion, the Southern Ontario Smart Computing Infrastructure Platform, or SOSIP, and this came from the universities, honestly, is the group of 7 universities and ourselves that will work together to prioritize projects and work for the future. And the intention here is skills transfer, the ability to use this platform for whatever projects they want to work on, and to be able to commercialize coming out of it. And I think, as I say, it's just the launch, and it's an interesting story, and that's all it is so far. The hard work is now just beginning. And so I look forward to working with Tom and the OCE team, as well as with the other universities and researchers, to make this an international success and to grow this and other like projects like this and make Canada the place where we can actually launch the discoveries of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. I want to convey how pleased we all are to be working with IBM and our university partners on this very exciting initiative. This is going to open up precedented opportunities for academia, partner organizations, and SMEs to access advanced applied research capabilities.